All right, it's poetry time. It's poetry time, y'all. Okay. Now the feature poem that we got for today is Karma, Christina Dominique. Now this is gonna be one of those poems. This is gonna be one of those poems. It's definitely one of those poets. Like this is one of those poets where like we're all just like, listen, thank God that you are here with a pen in your hand. Thank you, Most High Creator, blessing us because this fucking poem is fucking ridiculous. It's amazing. Alright, it's absolutely amazing. I don't even want to take long getting to this poem. Let me just give you a quick bio before we continue. Now, Dominique Christina, she is a writer, performer, and social activist. She is a champion at the National Poetry Series and Women's of the World Poetry Slam. Christina was born and raised in Pennsylvania. She also went to college at the University of Arkansas at Monticello. And she's also published 4 books. 4 books. Being Anarcha Speaks, okay, a history in poems. Listen, this is about to blow your mind. The comparisons, the war cry. You can hear this entire poem was literally like a cry from the bottom, the pits of her being. Like I just heard it all coming out. Like you're gonna hear this live. This is gonna be a live recording of her spitting this piece. Just when you listen to it, it's literally as if you can hear the ancestors crying through her in this piece. Like when you hear it, it really makes you feel convicted for needing to continue the legacy that's already been put in motion. Like this shit right here is deeper than rap, my mans, my ladies, everybody's. Like this right here, this is what being a poet is all about. Like speaking the times. Nina Simone, that's what she said of what a poet does. Like this is it. This is it. It's gonna be a lot of this is it, but it's not gonna be that many this is it, but this is definitely it. Let's hear this poem. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the slam. Come on, let's go. She did this at a slam.
We become poets in an attempt to tether words to righteousness, our notebooks to social consciousness. Sitting cross-legged and anxious in wingback chairs, we sip lattes to news of regimes, firing American-made artillery into crowds of folk, their bodies pickled by the sun. They line streets in countries we never think about, and we suck our teeth and ask a thesaurus to become a machete. And as romantic as pacifism is these days, I dream of dictators falling headfirst into karma and forget to be afraid. If I could write this shit in fire, I would write this shit in fire. This ain't poetry, rage, unmuted, a verb, a means, an end. This is my body. This is Sankofa, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Southside, Chicago, Compton, California, Red Hook Projects in Jersey, Roosevelt Projects in Brooklyn. This is severed hands and clubs against flesh, black boots to pregnant bellies, sterilizations masked as inoculations, leg irons and chains, the bit and the noose. This is a war cry. Tell Massa I coming back, carrying fire in my knapsack. Tell him I'm Patrice Lumumba, Stephen Biko, Fannie Lou Hamer. Tell him they have been born again in me. Tell him I found my mother tongue buried under the rubble of the World Trade Center. Tell him this shit ain't no poem. This is me running naked from sugarcane and cotton fields, having dropped my croaker sack. Tell him he can call me karma. I am refreshing the bones, a witch, a root worker, a sorceress, a priestess, a gangster. Tell him this is the result of segregation. Tell him this is the result of integration. Tell him I've never been invisible. Tell him he has never been invincible. Tell him I am melting the barbed wire in steel bars of prison yards. They gon' flow over him like lava. I am returned. I am bloodthirsty. I am fangs and hooks and swollen feet in welfare lines. The gauntlet thrown down, lines drawn in the sand. I am apocryphal. Historical deletions gathering themselves up and into textbooks. I am the niece of exploitation on a rice and pancake box. Come to collect the royalties for Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. I am the line of smoke, a rain dance, the tomahawk used to kill the first invader. I am a passbook in South Africa, a whites only sign on a courthouse door in Mississippi. The streets of Benghazi pocked in prayer beads and shell casings. The juxtaposition of faith and savagery. Tell him I am African wide hips and American bulimia. Peace symbols affixed onto assault rifles. It is the deepest kind of contradiction. If I could write this shit in fire, I would write this shit in fire. Tell Massa I coming back. Howl in the wind, I coming back. Burr in your heel, I coming back, Massa. I coming back, Massa. I coming back, Massa. I coming back.
Oh man. Just take that in. Just take that in, man. Just take that in. Just take that in. Just take it in. Cause oh man. Yo. That shit is top shelf. Fine wine. Like, yo. It's just, yo, alright, listen, it's a link. I can't even speak. It's a link in the description to the actual video so you can see the work of art, so you can see it and fully experience it. The link is in the description. Listen, it is so important for you to be exposed to the right things in the flyest way. And the art of poetry is so delicate, it's so real, it's so untampered with, and it's so sacred. You need to get in contact with the artists who are producing these masterpieces. It's so important for you, me, all of us, including the writer. It is so important. See, in my opinion, poetry is very, very sacred because the understanding of love, appreciation, support, these things are expected here. They're expected in this atmosphere. They're expected in this community. Being able to love one another, appreciate one another, share the realest parts of one another with each other is expected here. The safe, flyest, creative space among many. I just like it here. I just like it here.
This shit ain't no poem. This is me running naked from sugarcane and cotton fields, having dropped my croaker sack.
Like when I really listen to this poem, it really sounds like the fed up spirit, the spirit that is no longer falling for the bullshit. You know, this is literally the fed up spirit on its way back to nature and letting the bullshit know that, you know, we've been held down for too long. And you can call this karma if you want. I really feel her speaking that to us.
I've never been invisible, tell him. He has never been invincible, tell him.
So many oppressive systems can definitely recognize this now.
I am melting the barbed wire and steel bars of prison yards. They gon' flow over him like lava. I am returned. I am bloodthirsty. I am fangs and hooks and swollen feet in welfare lines. The gauntlet thrown down, lines drawn in the sand. I am apocryphal.
I feel like if nature could speak, it would say all of that. I really feel like that because nature has been really like just helping us through, getting us through all of this bullshit. Nature's really been catching the fuck end of this because nature knows the truth but has been settling for the bullshit but no longer. So this is amazing.
Tell him he can call me karma. I am refreshing the bones, a witch, a root worker, a sorceress, a priestess, a gangster.
See, the beauty is in what all of these people have in common.
Tell him this is the result of segregation. Tell him this is the result of integration. Tell him I'm
poem is like inspire me without trying to inspire me, because you just inspired me. See y'all on the next one. Don't forget, check out Christina Dominique. All the links is in the bio and the description. Peace, y'all. Love y'all. Street Poets NYC.
I don't think God put me on this earth to work hard. I think God put me on this earth to be an excellent vibe.